What time did you get in last night?
About 12:30.
Where'd you get to?
Went round cafes, looked off the Ben.
Everything all right?
Look, Jamie's still a bit upset. Leave me to have a word with him, will you?
Yeah, I'm going to go over and make a start on the snooker club.
And we're going to see Milligan and Frater after work.
Yeah. One good thing about owning a place like that, no shortage of snooker cubes.
Don't tempt me. Any mates of Billy's and no mates of mine.
You lying scumbag.
Leave it, Matthew.
After the stunt he pulled yesterday?
Don't worry. The jury aren't stupid.
Make sure now he can sleep at night.
Now, I've actually popped in to tell you we've had some good news.
Do you think it worked in my favour?
Probably. After Jamie Mitchell's performance, we needed it. But let's not try that one again. Make sure you give the jury a few apologetic looks.
I shall hang my head in shame.
Morning. Look, I know you think that I let you down, but please hear me out, will you?
Billy used to trap me in the kitchen. He'd moan about the state of the place and then start laying into me.
You shouldn't give up so easily.
Oh, Mum, Troy isn't interested.
He might be a bit nervous about asking you out.
We didn't have to. I asked him if he wanted to go to a club.
I mean, with living here, he might not want to rock the boat.
Yeah, well, that won't matter next week, will it? I won't even be here.
Shall I have a quiet word?
Don't you dare.
I'll be very subtle.
You don't know the meaning of the word. Now, seriously, Mum, please, there's no point.
Oh, if you don't want me to.
Look, I'm late. I don't know if I dare leave.
I won't say a thing, I promise. Fingers crossed for Matthew.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks. I'll see both of you tonight.
These seats don't look very comfortable. It's a good job I brought my cushion. You're going to have a nap that side. Oh, I'm glad I got an end seat, because then I can nip out for a bag.
We may have quiet in court, please.
Morning.
Nina?
Yeah? A coffee and a cheese sandwich, please.
I'll sit down and bring it over.
Bring us over a tea, will you?
Expect you two to be having breakfast together.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to build bridges. I did lose you in the Vic the other night, didn't I?
You look a bit rattled.
I want to know if you're going to say anything.
I haven't decided yet.
What happened between me and Kathy was a mistake, and there's still a chance that her and Phil could get back together.
Well, then I'd better go round and warn Phil quick.
Do you have any idea the kind of grief you'll cause?
Oh, about the same amount you caused me.
I'm warning you. Don't say anything.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah. If that's what it takes.
Oh, go away, Grant. Unless, of course, you want me to say something right now.
Right. Cancel that tea, will you?
Everything all right?
No, not really.
So why did you go to Nottingham with Matthew?
Well, Steve found out that I knew about Saskia, and I was afraid that I was going to end up buried in a forest too.
What happened when Mr. Owen found you at your hotel?
Well, Matthew had gone out, and Steve grabbed me and forced me back into the lift and told me to go up to the room.
So Mr. Owen was aggressive?
Yeah. He started knocking me about and threatening me. And then when Matthew came in, he grabbed him. It was like we were both his prisoners.
What did Mr. Owen say to you both?
He told us that we were going to keep our mouths shut and that he was taking us away.
What was Mr. Rosa's manner during all this?
He was terrified. We both were. Steve Frog marched us to the lift and Matthew managed to punch him and we ran away.
Where did you go to?
Back to Walford to see my brother. He's an ex-policeman. Matthew could see that we didn't have any choice. He had to go to the police and own up.
So, Mr. Rose confessed to your brother?
Yeah. He told him everything. I'd say he was relieved. I mean, he was on his way to the police station when he got arrested.
In all the time that you were with Matthew, did he ever say that he'd hit Miss Duncan?
Never. Not even when he was depressed or crying or when he completely lost it. He always said that he was trying to pull Saskia off Steve when Steve hit her with the ashtray.
Thank you, Mr. Marco.
This is embarrassing.
I don't know where to look.
We shouldn't even be talking.
Mustn't say a word. shouldn't sit next to me either.
I know, it's really bad of me.
It's just as well, you know, if we would have gone out, we would have had some wonderful times.
Who needs it, eh?
Not me. I'll pick you up tomorrow night about 8, yeah?
Don't you be late?
I won't be.
I put it to you as Matthew Rose's ex-girlfriend. Your evidence is hardly impartial.
Then you're wrong.
Why is that, Miss DeMarco?
Because after Matthew got arrested, he finished with me. I've been quite upset about it, actually.
Then there's always the possibility you're trying to win him back.
No, you're wrong there, too.
Miss DeMarco, could you explain why your brother Beppe lost his job with the police force?
He withheld some evidence in a case, but then he resigned.
Now, which type of case was this?
Attempted murder.
And this is who Matthew wanted advice from before making his confession.
Well, yeah, he owned up. It's not like he was bent copper or nothing.
Oh, of course not, Miss DeMarco. In the course of this trial, we've heard from several witnesses how Matthew Rose has a tendency to violence against women.
That's not true.
Then why in his statement to the police would he admit to hitting you?
We didn't realise he did it. He was asleep at the time.
You're saying Matthew Rose managed to hit you in the face and split your lip whilst he was asleep?
He was having a nightmare?
I have no more questions.
I have no questions for the witness, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Marco. You're free to leave the court.
My lord, before I conclude the case for Mr. Rose's defence, may I, in the light of some very recent information, apply to further cross-examine Dr. Stewart?
There you go. Oh, Terry. Yeah? Just a man. I need you to be honest with me.
Go on.
I've been deciding my wedding invitations. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah? I was going for that something a bit different, you know.
It's like when couples carve their names on trees, yeah?
Yeah, it's the effect I was trying to get, yeah.
Yeah, I like it very much. Although I'd brighten it up with a nice red sunset.
What do you mean, what, the sun setting behind a tree?
Yeah, may I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. just like that sort of thing, you know? Yeah, with the rays coming off.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Stewart, you stated yesterday, when giving evidence to the court, that Mr. Owen could not have struck the blow that killed Miss Duncan.
That's correct.
That having studied the pattern of the skull fractures, you were convinced that the blow must have been struck from behind. In other words, by Mr. Rose.
In my opinion, that is so.
Now, Dr. Stewart, I've been looking into your professional history, and I believe the last time you gave forensic evidence in court was in July 1989. The Crown versus Flint.
That's right.
Now, although Mr. Flint was convicted, he was subsequently freed on appeal. Now, why was this, Dr. Stewart?
Because the evidence I gave had been called into question.
Well, it was rather more than that, wasn't it, Dr. Stewart? The defense pathologist was able to prove that your methods were unreliable.
Yes. Unfortunately, on that particular case, I made a mistake.
In other words, the forensic evidence you gave to the court was totally discredited.
Yes, it was, but
I have no more questions.
The orange, keep it to us.
Got someone in trouble. Natalie, get yourself ready for this. What do you reckon?
What's it for?
Well, it's for the wedding invitations.
Sunset was my idea.
Oh, right. Well, thing is, I got these while I was out.
Yeah, but you knew I wanted to design something special, didn't you?
Well, we haven't got time if we want to get them out before Ian.
Well, we can find someone to print them off quickly.
It would take weeks to have our own design.
She's right, you know.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I thought we weren't going to tell anyone.
Well, Terry ain't going to say nothing, is he?
Not if it means you get one over on Ian Beale.
It's a shame, though.
Yeah, it is. They would have been perfect.
Members of the jury, I shall now adjourn early for lunch, after which you will hear closing speeches from counsel, and I shall start my summing up. Thank you.
Mr. Cherry, I need to have a word with you, in private.
Here, do you want me to cut them up for you?
Hey? I can't believe this is the same man I went to Paris with.
That's because I'm not.
I think looking after Jamie's done you the world of good.
I'm sorry he hasn't been that friendly towards you.
That's all right. I suppose it's because he's a pal of Lisa's.
He's a terrific kid when you get to know him.
Oh, you seem very close.
Yeah, he's become like a son, really.
Just gonna borrow Mum's dryer. It's cheaper than laundry. Yeah, sure. I want to get it out of the way because I'm going out of Beppe tomorrow night.
I know you're not.
Just watch me. You're not having a very good day, are you?
My lord, I have requested that the jury remain out of court so that I can make application to call a final witness.
This is rather late in the day, Mr. Cherry.
The witness, Miss Owen, has only just approached me, Your Honour. I believe she holds vital evidence as to why my client did not report Miss Duncan's death to the police.
No doubt, Mr. Wolfe and Miss Mills, you both object?
I do indeed, my lord. We suddenly have a witness forced upon us at this stage.
I object most strongly, my lord.
I shall note, and I must admit I also share your reservations. However, in the interests of justice, I shall allow Miss Owen to give evidence.
How about if we all have a couple of days out next week?
Well, we're going back to South Africa next Monday.
Already?
I bought the flights.
There's no chance I can convince you to stay a bit longer.
No, I'm afraid not. But we will be back for Ian's wedding. And I'll promise we'll talk properly about access to Ben.
That's great, isn't it? See you again soon, son, won't I?
Jackie! Mr. Owen, this is your final warning. I will not tolerate any further outbursts in my courtroom. Do you understand?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Miss Owen, if you'd like to tell the court who you are.
My name's Jackie Owen. I'm Steve Owen's sister.
During the last adjournment, you approached me as I was leaving court. Why was that?
Couldn't stand by and do nothing. Had to tell the truth about Steve.
If you could explain.
I know why Steve wouldn't have gone to the police. It's because of what happened to my husband, Doug.
Please, go on, Miss Owen.
I first met Doug in 1985. As soon as I introduced him to Steve, they became great friends.
They developed a close relationship?
Yeah. It's the same as how Steve and Matthew's relationship's been described, only the other way round. Doug was Steve's father figure, mentor.
I believe they worked together.
Yeah. Doug owned a few clubs. Steve ran them for him. It was a very happy time for all three of us. And one night, in 1993, there was a fight at one of the clubs. Some young guy had too much to drink.
What happened?
Doug went to throw him out. Guy pulled a knife. Doug lashed out to protect himself, hit the guy in the wrong place, killed him.
Was your husband prosecuted for this?
Yes. He pleaded guilty in court, manslaughter. Got 10 years.
How did this affect him?
Doug wasn't a villain. He was a gentle giant. Couldn't handle it. One day, just couldn't take being locked up anymore.
I know this is painful, Miss Owen, but is it true your husband committed suicide?
Killed himself in his cell.
How did Steve react to this?
Same as me. We were devastated.
Would you say that this experience might have influenced Steve's actions in this case?
Definitely. If Steve cared for Matthew, there's no way he'd let him suffer the same fate.
You say he'd fear for Matthew's life in prison?
It's just the same. Doug just lashed out. He hadn't meant to kill anyone. That's why Steve would lie, not report Matthew to the police.
Why would Mr. Owen not have mentioned this?
Protect me, I suppose. He wouldn't want to dredge it all up again.
Thank you, Miss Owen.
Miss Owen, obviously with your giving evidence at this late stage, we do not have an opportunity to look into the events you describe.
I wouldn't lie about my husband killing himself.
I'm sure you wouldn't. However, if Mr. Owen was so devastated by your husband's death in prison, there is the possibility, is there not, that he lied in order to stop himself suffering a similar fate?
It's a possibility. I know my brother. If he had killed Saskia, he'd have held his hand up and admitted it.
I was waiting for this.
What is your problem?
My problem is that I'm attracted to Samantha. Samantha's problem is that she is attracted to me.
First my wife and now my sister.
I'll be careful here, Grant. Because if we're talking about keeping it in the family...
Meaning?
Well, first Louise and now Kathy.
What are you trying to say here?
That I'd mind my own business and leave me and Sam to it.
Members of the jury, there is no doubt that both defendants were present when Miss Duncan met her death. Both freely admit to this and to their disposing of Miss Duncan's body in Epping Forest. I suggest that you have a number of key issues to consider. The first being, was Saskia Duncan's killing a premeditated act? In other words, did the defendants intend to kill her? You must then ask yourselves as to what the true nature of the defendants' relationship was. Was their relationship, as the prosecution described, so close that each has maintained the other's guilt as a means of hampering justice? If not, then the key to your verdict must be found in which of the defendants you believe. Who you believe will help you to determine if there is only one killer, and if so, who to convict for the crime, be it murder or manslaughter. Should you believe Mr. Owen is innocent and was merely protecting his guilty young protégé out of loyalty? Or should you believe in Mr. Rose's innocence and his being intimidated into silence by the guilty Mr. Owen?
You had to go and grass me up, didn't you?
What now?
You told Beppy about me and Kathy.
So you went straight round there and said, keep away from my sister.
I warned you this morning.
So what if I did tell Beppe? You humiliated me in front of the whole pub, which is what I'm going to do to you if you don't go away and leave me alone.
Thank you. Sorry, Steve, but it's no go.
What did Jackie say?
She was very polite about it, but she refuses to come and see you.
Yeah, well, thanks for trying anyway.
Do you want me to sit in with you for a while?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Right. I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything.
Mr. Cherry. The truth?
The truth is, I'd say it's too close to call.
I must be able to pop out for a quick drink with you.
Well, won't be long till I'm back again.
Yeah, I'm counting the days till the wedding. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever been this happy before.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I look at Melanie and I think I should pinch myself.
You're not just going by her looks, are you?
Oh, come on, Mum, you know me better than that.
You haven't known her that long.
Believe me, I have never been as sure about anything in my life.
Well, it's all right then, isn't it?
You do like her, don't you?
Ian. Hi, Kathy. Yeah. Just wondered how, your wedding plans were going and...
Yeah, fine. Great. You forget there's so much to do, don't you?
Yeah. Must be murder, though, trying to get all those invitations out, writing out all those names and addresses.
Yeah, that's why we haven't started doing those yet. We're going to leave it a few weeks.
If you need a hand with anything, you know where I am.
Thanks, Barry.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, wasn't it? Mum, listen carefully. I want you to act normally, and I want you to finish your drink right now, OK? They've obviously worked out when our wedding date is, so we're going to go home, we're going to start writing our invitations now, all right? Come on.
This one's for Jackie. It's got all the flat details in there. If you tell her I need to speak to her about E20 and the health club. This one's for Beppe DeMarco, and this one's for Grant Mitchell. He used to be a Boy Scout. You know how it goes.
Try not to worry.
I wasn't, Ian. I was thinking about Teresa. It was strange seeing her again after all this time.
Yeah. She certainly did her best for you in court.
Must have been hard to admit that I dumped her.
Why didn't you want to see her?
I couldn't tell you now. Will you have a word with her?
Of course I will.
Will you say that I was sorry? And that if it all goes okay, I'd like her to come and celebrate with us tonight.
The jury are on their way back in now. See you in a minute.
Come on, Doc, get a move on. I've got to get to the lavatory, haven't I?
Oh, good luck, Michael.
Thanks, Peggy.
If the defendants would please rise.
If the foreman would please stand. Have you reached verdicts upon which you are all agreed? Please answer yes or no.
No.
Members of the jury, I shall now ask you to retire once more and to continue to try to reach a verdict upon which you all agree. If you are unable to do this, I will accept a verdict on which at least 10 of you agree. Thank you.
This is the place. Come on, let's go. Hold on. What's up? Nothing. Let's do it, mate.
Can I have a word?
Yeah, of course.
Matthew's asked me to tell you that he's sorry about what's happened and he'd like to see you later.
What for?
Well, if everything goes okay, he'd like the three of us to go out for a meal to celebrate.
I wouldn't want to get in the way.
No, we both like to be there.
Okay, then.
Thanks, Teresa.
There you go. Matthew wants me to go and celebrate with him. I said I would.
Well, how was it, seeing him again?
To tell the truth, I don't know how I feel.
You Milligan and Freighter?
Yeah. And you are?
I'm Phil Mitchell. It's my brother Grant.
Delighted, I'm sure.
It's about a loan. Now, you two seem to think you can take liberties with us. And we're here to tell you that you can't. He's talking to you.
I'm all ears.
Now, you don't just double the repayments. Now, if you're not happy about that, or you want any grief, you just say the word, we'd be happy to help you out. Right. Now, we'll pay you what we originally agreed. That's how much you get every month. And if you're trying anything on, believe me, you can go and whistle with the lots. You got that?
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Mitchell. Thanks for popping in. And we shall certainly take your points on board.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. And like I say, if you want any grief, you just let us know.
What was that all about? I just sat there and took it.
I didn't think it'd be that easy.
I thought he was going to cry when I ruined his game.
I don't think we'll be hearing from them two again anyway.
Can you believe those two? They are something else. You'll say something.
They're dead.
You didn't.
I did. He used to drop me off his motorbike round the corner. I'd change into my sensible gear, and then I'd have me crash helmet in the back garden.
Irene, I'm really surprised at you.
I better not say any more then. Talking of courting, and I promised I wouldn't say anything. But my Sarah's got a bit of a crush on you.
I thought she had.
Don't look like that.
Don't get me wrong, I think Sarah's great. It's just, it's not my type.
Oh, that's a shame. But what is your type?
You really want to know?
Well, I asked, didn't I?
Well, don't fall off the sofa or nothing, but...
What's for dinner?
What happened in court today?
Haven't reached a verdict yet. What's to eat?
Nothing. You have to go around the chip shop.
Oh, well, that's great, isn't it? You just carry on sitting there, getting legless.
Thanks, Terry. I will.
Yeah.
Pleased with yourself, are you? I'm not pleased about anything.
You lying bitch.
I did not lie. My husband died in prison.
Well, it won't do Steve any good. He'll get found guilty.
If you say so.
He's going to spend the next 20 years rotting in prison.
Will you get out of my way,
Unless
please?
he does the decent thing, like your husband.
Ladies, please. Look, I'm sorry about what happened to Saskia.
Yeah, well, that's big of you.
But if she'd have left Steve alone, then none of this would have happened.
Oh, so it's her fault that Steve killed her?
This isn't going to get anyone anywhere.
She was trying to strangle him.
Yeah, well, it's a pity she didn't succeed.
I suggest you return to court. The jury have reached a verdict.
Hey, don't worry. Just stay calm, yeah?
I love you, son.
I'm looking forward to this.
Me too, mate.
If the defendants would please rise. If the foreman would please stand. Members of the jury, have at least 10 of you agreed on your verdict?
Yes, we have.
What are your verdicts? Please only answer guilty or not guilty. In respect of Stephen Owen, on the count of murder.
Not guilty.
In respect of Matthew Rose, on the count of murder.
Not guilty.
In respect of Stephen Owen, on the count of manslaughter.
Not guilty.
In respect of Matthew Rose, on the count of manslaughter.
Guilty.